Vox Box Star Wars Podcast, Episode 9. I have a little bit of advice. When the old shaman says there's a monster, there's always a monster.
What is thy bidding, my master?
There is great disturbance in the force.
The Vox Box Star Wars Podcast. Your source for Star Wars comics, news, and more. And now your host, Michael Corley.
Welcome back to Vox Box Star Wars Comic Book Podcast. We are covering Star Wars number 9 from the original series. It is called Showdown on a Wasteland World. We see our various heroes with Han Solo and Chewbacca. They have been hired to help protect the local villagers from space raiders led by an evil man named Sergi X. Who is this ragtag group? It is a man named Don Juan Quixote. I should note, I'm pretty sure they spell it differently from one comic to the next, but that's okay. He claims to be the last of the Jedi Knights. A 6-foot-tall rabbit alien who eats meat, who is known as Jackson. Hedgie, a purplish alien known as a Spiner, who's able to throw quills with incredible accuracy. A woman who is known to be incredibly good with a blaster, who is known as Amazia. And a young teenager from one of the local villages that's being terrorized, known as Jim, who's also called the Star Killer Kid, with his robot named Effie. They are all riding banthas on their way to the villagers when they see that the villagers are being attacked, not by the space raiders, but by, harpies? They are being attacked by, bird people. I don't know what else to call it. They are trying to fend off the bird people, and that's when Han Solo blasts one with his blaster, and the rest of the Star Hoppers, as they are calling themselves, wade into the fray. Amazia is firing her blaster. Jackson, the green-skinned rabbit, is firing 2 at once. Of course, Hedgie is shooting his spines. Don Quixote is swinging his lightsaber, saying, "Fie upon the filed, feathery fiend! In the name of justice, let this planet be cleansed of such filth of you and your brethren." The Star Killer Kid is blasting another, while his robot Effie is using extendable arms to fight off more. In an interesting little side note, Jackson, the green-skinned rabbit, is hitting on Amazia. He's saying, "You know, Amazia, when this babysitting mission is over, how's about you and me teaming up? I got a hunch we could make some beautiful blaster music together." And she entirely shuts him down. A young woman from the village is about to be taken down by one of the flying creatures, and that's when Han Solo grabs a hold of her and blasts him with his blaster. This woman is dressed exactly like you would imagine a woman dressed in a Conan comic, with a sort of chainmail-looking bikini. As you can imagine, she turns out to be the daughter of the village elder. Once they get to the village and make their introductions, they start helping the villagers plan their defenses and get ready for Sergi's attack. We cut back to Yavin 4, and we see that the Rebel Alliance is getting ready to move, but they don't yet have a place to go. Princess Leia is thinking about Luke Skywalker and wondering where he is. Luke thinks that he's found a promising planet. He's risking direct contact with the Yavin base to tell them about it, when suddenly he says, No, it is impossible, and suddenly the transmission is cut off. Princess Leia wastes no time. And they like this, that they show, just as in the movies, that she is a woman of action. She says, "I have been talked out of doing something since we've been here. I'm going to go find Luke Skywalker no matter what." We cut back to Han Solo and his ragtag group, and we see the grandfather of the young woman that Han Solo saved come and talk to him. He is saying that he is the shaman of their people, and that there is a story, a simpler solution, that when he was a young man, he had seen a creature, a monster that could be summoned that will help them. Now, no one believes this guy. Everybody thinks he's crazy. I'm sure you know, of course he's crazy. Of course there isn't really a monster. There couldn't possibly be, right? But while they're conferring with one another, that's when Jackson turns and says, "I suggest we get up off our fannies and our cottontails, because we got trouble on the way." We can see Sergi X and the rest. They're on basically flying motorcycles, and they're coming in hard and fast. Sergi X is saying, "You can start doling out the tribute you've been saving up all year." And that includes the cream of your crop, who just reached the age I like 'em. You know, what's her name? Mary. That is the girl that Han Solo saved. And Han Solo has something to say in response. And you know what that means, people? It's time for...
Dramatic reenactment.
Like hell you're taking any more out of this village, Argantus. And if you think you're gonna lay one grimy finger on that girl, you're gonna be over my smoking bones. Alright, Star Jumpers, let's let him have it.
That wonderful reading of Han Solo was done by Brandon Starr, who is also known as Chill from the Utini podcast. Utini, of course, being the sound that Jawas make. Utini! The Utini podcast focuses on the Star Wars Old Republic. So if you're a SWTOR fan, check them out at Utini. That's OOTINI cast.com. UtiniCast.com. Thanks so much, Chill. You did an awesome job. Now the battle is fully on. Effie, the robot, uses his extendable arms to grab the legs of one of the flying motorcycles, and Chewbacca grabs the person on top of it. It doesn't go well for him. While they're in the battle, some of the outlaws have snuck up behind. One of them is going to blast the Star Killer Kid, that is Jim. Effie, though he has done nothing but complain about serving the Star Killer Kid, he rolls in front with his tractor treads and is blasted. Starkiller Kid screams, "Effie!" And the narrator says, though the robot FE-90 claimed neither to be a servant nor pet to Starkiller Kid, perhaps he was something more. Han Solo is calling to Chewie, Amazia, and Don Juan to protect their rear. Some of the raiders are grabbing hold of Amazia, and Don Juan says, "Take care, fair maiden, behind you!" And he slashes the raider with his lightsaber, and we know exactly how effective those are. However, in his zest to attack the raider, he does not see the raider flying up behind him, who shoots him with a blaster. Now, Don Juan is wearing armor that's very reminiscent to a knight from our age, but whether or not it protected him, we do not know. Han Solo is warning of an attack coming at Hedgie, and Hedgie is shooting his spines, just barely avoiding the attack. Meanwhile, we see the shaman. He is chanting something. Han Solo is calling out to Jackson, asking how his power reserves for his blasters are. And Jackson replies, "Ain't complaining, Solo, and if I run out of power, I can always kick these riders out of the clouds." And then we cut back to the shaman, and he says, "Hear me, slumbering one. I beg you awaken, as you did in decades past. Our minds are now linked as one. Emerge from your bed chambers of stone." And as if they didn't have enough to worry about, out comes a giant lizard monster. Not quite Godzilla, but not quite not. And as the narrator says, somehow Sergi X Arrogantis has become second place to Han Solo's priorities. The real battle has begun, and that ends Star Wars number 9. Middle of a pitched battle. We have possibly lost some of the people permanently. We will have to see. If you would like to find out how to become a dramatic reader for Vox Box Star Wars podcast, go to our Patreon page at voxboxpodcast.com/Patreon. You have a wonderful day, and may the Force be with you.
No! You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
So be it, Jedi.
Thank you for listening to the Vox Box Star Wars podcast. Give us a review on iTunes to help more Star Wars fans find the show. Have a great day, and may the Force be with you.
Whew. Alright, that was fun. Alright.